Hey guys, Scott here from Texas DIY, and today we're going to show you how I had a crew come in and dig the hole that built this pool. And I'm going to share some tips and some tricks, 4 of them, but I'm not going to do the normal thing. I'm not going to sit there and put them at the end of the video. I'm going to do it right after this. The only thing I ask is that you give us a like. That way it'll help spread the news about the video, about the program. And if you want to stick around, we're going to get into this dig. We're going to have some great drone footage. And I'm going to go into the little particulars that made this kind of a special project. All right, so let's get into those tips. Okay, so first tip. These guys are professionals, right? And so most of the time, no one asks them why they do what they do. So when you show up curious and respectful, they'll usually open up and explain everything. You get to learn, they feel appreciated, and it's that mutual trust that pays off in the long run.
Okay, so step 2 is being there for the layout. So a good excavator uses survey tools and sticks to kind of plan out what the design looks like on the ground. But nothing beats your own eyes on the ground. So you want to show up for the layout because that's your last chance to shift anything before the machines start moving dirt. Okay, third tip, check in strategically. You don't want to hover over them, but you also don't want to disappear. So check in like at the start of the day or during a break or when they wrap up at the end of the day. It shows that you care about the project and it keeps little misunderstandings from turning into big problems. And tip 4, let them lead, but own the vision. See, you're the boss of the project, but this phase belongs to them. So share your vision clearly, but let them do their thing. But when you got questions, ask in a way that builds trust, not tension. For example, help me understand what you're doing here. Goes a lot further than second guessing. So to wrap it up, that's 4 tips. 1, communicate early and often. 2, be there for the layout. 3, check in strategically. And 4, let them lead, but own the vision. So if you got to go, great. Just please smash that like button so we can get some promotion across YouTube. For the rest of you want to see how this build actually went, let's get into the dig. All right, here we go. First pull of the dirt. You can see that they've laid out the pool on the ground with the paint. This is the moment when all of the preparation finally starts paying off. It goes quick.
Here you can see where they've marked out the ground with the orange paint. He brought in 2 types of buckets, so you can make big digs, little digs. It's crazy. You see that the sand, that's like beach sand quality sand. It is really, really fine, really, really loose. And you're gonna see later what they had, or how they had to dig to handle this excavation. So we're 5 minutes into the dig, and I just really had no idea how fast it would transform my property. 30 minutes later, look at that pile of sand. The guy in the skid steer was like non-stop moving. He was just moving that sand over to its temporary holding area constantly. Towards the end of the day, the guy running the backhoe, Chewy, the owner of this operation, he told me he could start feeling some resistance in the backhoe, which meant he ran out of sand and he's starting to get into the clay. Here they're using a laser to get an accurate measurement of how deep the hole is. You can see that dirt just keeps piling up. And now it's time to start the forms. You can see that they actually had to dig bigger than the pool to put the forms in because the sand would have just collapsed. This was a lot more work, but there was no way around it. You'll also notice that they transferred the spray paint to the new hole to make sure they keep the design right. Part of this excavation was actually building platforms for the backhoe to keep on digging. And that's what you see he's doing here. He's smoothing it out so that it can sit stable while he starts digging more of the pool. And those guys in the back just keep building that form. Essentially, we had to build the pool as if it was going to be sitting outside of the ground. I mean, just the amount of carpentry here. They built the forms, they got to brace it all in the back because when they go put the gunite on it, it's got to hold it all back. It's just pretty incredible. I mean, just look how much more of a hole we had to dig. Now comes the sandbags. Because they had to build up the hot tub, and later you're gonna see the shelf. They can't carve it out like normal, so they had to brace it with sandbags. Dozens and dozens and dozens of sandbags. The guy in the blue shirt, that's Chuy Lopez of LPZ Construction. This guy is a second generation digger and he really knows his stuff. Let's see what they actually had to do. They had to build up to the bottom of the hot tub and then fill it with sand and then build the outside wall. Just no way around it. That's how you gotta keep it from collapsing in. Here you can see Chuy tried to roll the dice and get the sun deck to carve out without doing the sandbags, but no luck. It all came crashing down. You really had no choice but to dig out the entire sun shelf and then build it back up with sandbags. I could kind of tell he wasn't happy about it, but you know he never griped. He just did the work. Can you imagine digging a big hole knowing you're gonna fill it right back up? Now it's time to really start stacking sandbags. I actually ran out there and helped out. Learned a lot of things. He taught me how to stack a sandbag wall so it'll never fall. And look at that. It's incredible amount of work. Here's where you could see me and Chewy standing there looking at some drone footage. And of course I'm in Texas's finest footwear. I just can't get over how many sandbags we stacked to make this design work. We're not even done with sandbags yet. Here's where we really get digging into the clay. A whole nother dig experience. The nice thing is we don't have to form down anymore. Got caught in a little rain, everything had to stop. But you know, there was just kind of a peaceful calm that fell over the worksite while it was raining. Nope, afraid not, Chewy. It's still raining. Wasn't long before rain stopped and the crew got back to work. In the back there, the other pile of sandbags, that's the beginning of the other sun deck and steps. For the first time, we're really starting to see the real shape of the pool. This is kind of interesting because you could see how the difference between the clay and the sandbags. And if I didn't have sand and it was just clay, we wouldn't need all these sandbags. Here's another shot of all the bracing required. It just amazes me. They had to dig the ledges out, put the sandbags on, and then fill the ledges back up. Man. Here you can see he's got the laser pole out to make sure he's hitting the right measurements. Nothing that a little raking won't correct. You know, kind of the cool thing is, as Chewy was talking, he was real excited about this build because this is one of his most complex, and he couldn't wait to share the build story with his dad. How cool is that? On the last day of the build, the steel guy showed up and immediately got to work. But that's for the next video. If you like this video, please like, and subscribe.